In my 2000... Oh, shit. What is up, guys? I'm in my 2001 PT Cruiser here. And I'm going to give a little review of it, now that I've driven it around for a while. Before I knew this was going to be like my car's graduation present, I've driven it before, and now that I've driven it for a week as my car, and I've been like a little bit more picky, seen some things I like, seen some things I don't like. Just give you guys a look around. I figured I'd give you guys a little review of it. So, here it is. Alright, so I think that camera mount should work. I actually have like a suction cup on the dash, and it's weird. And again, everything I do is kind of weird, so that's not to be unexpected. Alright, I guess I sound like vehicle virgins or something, reviewing cars. But yeah, 2001 PT Cruiser with the 5-speed. Maybe angle this down. You guys can see? Yeah, it has the 5-speed. So, you don't see it every day. It's very rare in these cars to have the 5-speed. The jet rag, it's like T350, I think it's called. It's basically just like your base 5-speed. You know, for cars that don't have lots of power. Because it only makes 150 horsepower, 162 torque, so it doesn't need anything really, you know, that beefy in it. And I figure people that drive this aren't going to rag it out. And a normal shift is here at 3,000 RPM, so yeah, it's just kind of weird after getting out of the truck where it has torque. This really doesn't make torque, so you shift it later in the RPM range, even if you're just like trying to save fuel. I mean, it's pretty peppy. And I mean, that was just a stab at it until I could, you know, shift in the third. This car really isn't fast by any stretch of the word, but it's pretty nice. The interior, it's weird in here. Like I don't know, if you ever seen the inside of a PT Cruiser, it has like what the camera's mounted on. It's like plastic and it's blue, and the rest is like this gray plastic stuff. It's a different looking interior than what you see most of the time. It's just an unusual car from the inside and the outside. And also, I have power windows but no power locks. I mean, who the hell would decide we're going to add power windows, because that probably costs more as an option, and, you know, no power lock. It's weird. I mean, you figure if they were going for a stripper car, they would, you know, they would just get the power locks and not the power windows, or just both of them would be fully manual. Like, it's so weird. It's like if you really want a cheapy beepy car, just don't get power anything, or just... Oh, spun a little. Feels so weird, because I mean, on a normal start, you let the car hit like 2,000 RPM when you're pulling away. And that's normal, whereas like you'd be burning up clutches and stuff doing that in the truck. I mean, you really can't drive this car around at 1,500 RPM. It needs 2,000 or more. But I like it. It's fun. This car probably wouldn't be fun if I had the auto. I forgot what the transmission is called, but it has like an auto stick so you can manually change gear. But yeah, I think it's complemented by having the manual. It's very rare. Most people didn't get the manual, but I think it just makes it a better car. Alright, are you gonna go? This fucking intersection. You're doing what I'm about to do. Come on. Come on, you fuckhead. Come on. There we go. It's so weird during that intersection. Apparently the people who engineered this town, little fun fact about Marionville, they modeled like after Washington, D.C. Like, D.C. traffic's good or something. Like, I don't know where you would get those ideas from, but that's what they did. Now, it's not a smooth car. Like, drive my dad's jet, I don't know the car I learned to drive stick on, it was pretty smooth. Just because, you know, it had torque, so that kind of smoothed things out. It's not really a refined car, but it's still pretty fun, and it handles pretty well. It weighs 3,120 pounds, I believe. something like that for its curb weight. It's 3,100 something. I think it's 20, but don't trust me on that. I'm probably lying to you. But, so I mean, it handles okay. It's obviously not, you know, a Mazda Miata, but at the same time, it's not really a 1990 F-150 with shitty tires. I'm not saying my truck handles bad for a truck, but when you compare it to cars, yeah, the truck's not that good because it's a truck. And I need to replace the tires on the truck, but that's a story for another day. The gearing on this is kind of weird at first, because I was driving my dad's Jetta. You could be in third gear 25 mile per hour comfortably, whereas this, 25 in third, if you're on a flat, just kind of coasting maybe, but it really prefers like 35 in third. In redline, you could drive like 40 mile per hour in first gear, like if you hit the rev limiter. The Jetta, you'd be ready for a shift by 10 mile per hour. This, you're not ready to shift in a second until you hit like 15, 20 mile per hour or so. It's just a different, you know, experience. Getting on a little bit. There we go. Shifting the 4,000 RPM, which is kind of getting on it, but not really. And right now, not even power band. If anything, I'll have to downshift. But yeah, it's a fun car to drive. The light's probably terrible, and I apologize for that. And in the shade right now, and it's starting to get dark. Beautiful downshift in the third. The steering wheel has power steering, but it's hydraulic power steering, and it really communicates what the car is doing pretty well. Again, this isn't a Porsche 911, but it's better than the truck, and better than like my dad's Cadillac and stuff like that. And it gets 25 miles a gallon, so you call it decent for, you know, an older 4-cylinder car. And they're pretty cheap. This one was a graduation present, but I think Dad paid like $1,600 for it. And then, of course, we just put, you know, some work into it. You know, it wasn't like anything critical, but we just put some things into it, and it's fine. So, for $2,000 or so, you could get an 01 like this, similar options, which isn't bad because it's hard to find reliable transportation for less than $2,500. I mean, it only has 74,000 miles, so you really can't say, oh, it's the most reliable car ever, because, well, lots of cars could go 75,000 miles. Let's see if I can do that. Yes, beautiful. Perfect. That was perfect right there. Like 10, 15 mile per hour, just a gauge second. It was so smooth. I'm really not supposed to be going into this campground here, but I'm going to cheat a little. Alright, nobody's coming. Alright. There we go. That could be our little secret that I turned in here. But yeah, a really good car for the money, I guess. And I know some PT Cruisers go for like $5,000, maybe more, depending on what's done to them, but they're not a bad car. They're weird looking. You gotta get over the looks. You either love them or you hate them, or you're somewhere in between. I don't know. The looks are kind of growing on me, but I will admit it's a weird looking car. Now, you get a little bit more street cred if you get the turbo version. I do have a turbo badge on the back of this car that the previous owner put on, which means I might get a turbo whistle. Just because, you know, just go with it, but hold on a sec. Oh, feels so nice grabbing the stick and everything. Sorry about that. But yeah, if I had a turbo version, it would get a little bit more street cred. I mean, obviously the base doesn't get that much street cred, but I have the manual, and that's rare, and of course, it demands extra respect if you get the manual transmission. Just because not too many people nowadays can even drive stick. So the fact, oh, your car's stick, even if it's a craptastic, like old 1990s Hyundai that barely runs, it still gets some respect. But as far as like a cool, take the shows and stuff car, like I'm kind of on the fence. Like obviously I like it because it's my car, but is it really the best looking thing on the planet? No, it's not. It's pretty weird looking. It's not the fastest thing. It's a PT Cruiser. There we go. So you guys can actually see me, but it's a PT Cruiser. I like it, but this looks not for everybody. Some people hate this car. I don't know why you would hate it though. It's not a bad car. It's based loosely on the Neon. It's basically a fat body Neon. It's not like it's junk or anything. The Neons have a pretty good reputation behind them. And the handling's okay for what it is. You could fold down the seats and you can put lots of stuff in it. Now some things I don't like, this is specifically about mine, is again, no power locks. It's not the smoothest car. The styling's pretty weird. And, I don't know, these gauges. Like at dusk, when it's a little bit too dark to see the white and black gauge the way you would like, but the green is like a little bit too light of a green for at nighttime, because the black turns like this light green. I don't know, like these gauges, I wish they would have picked like a little bit of a darker green, so you still have like a little bit more contrast or something like that for at dusk. But other than that, there's really nothing to complain about. And I'm sure I'll find something later on to complain about. It has a small fuel tank, but getting 25 miles a gallon, it's not that bad. Alright, let the camera adjust. And in the fourth. It was kind of weird at first getting used to this car, just having to rev it out more, but I assume it's like any kind of four-cylinder. You know, I'm really not used to driving four cylinders, to be honest. Because my dad had a Buick Sabre when I was on my permit. He got rid of that, like last spring. That had a V6. Now he has a Cadillac with a V8, the North Star. And, well, I guess my mom and stepdad, they had a Hyundai Sonata. That was a four-cylinder, and that was a larger four-cylinder. Did I clip that? I don't know. You really feel potholes in this thing. You really gotta try to skirt around them, because it has pretty small tires. They're only a 15-inch wheel, which the truck has a 15-inch wheel. But yeah, it drives nice, handles decent for what it is. Not a bad car. I'd recommend it, and I'm shadesmoto, so I gotta, you know, of course, let people know I have this thing now, because I'm gonna do vlogs out of it. And one kudos I will give this car is, because of the weird material they use on this dash, the suction cup mount sticks to this. But why did I rev it? It was in neutral. We need to stop doing that. There we go. Now I'm in second. Alright, that makes more sense. But, yeah, pretty neat the way the camera sticks on because of the material. So I don't have to put a permanent mount. Like my truck, I have a permanent sticky pad mount the camera snaps into. Whereas this, I can just use the suction cup mount. And if I want to change up the mount, I can just do it. I don't have to, you know, use more 3M sticky strips or worry about any of that. It's just a lot easier and a lot more versatile. I can adjust the tilt of the camera better. So from a vlogging standpoint, this is just a better way to go, in my opinion. And once you get used to like the clutch and everything in this, it's really not that hard, and it's pretty light and everything. So like once you just get used to like where it grabs and, you know, the RPMs this car wants to be shifted at, it's a pretty easy car to drive stick in. Now heel towing, the pedals are spaced a little, but you kind of just hit the brake, then quickly get to the gas. That's how you downshift this when you're going at any kind of speed. You really don't heel tow this car. But then again, it wasn't made for people that heel toe downshift on a regular basis. You know, it's a PT Cruiser. They're meant for people that cruise, hence the name. Little fun fact, by the way, PT stands for personal transport. So, you know, like that goes with the car. I mean, they named it perfectly. It's a car for cruising. It's a get-around car. Not really the fastest or anything. You know, fun to drive, especially with the stick. I can't say anything about the auto because, well, I prefer manuals over autos, so it's kind of biased for me. And I haven't driven one with the auto. I've driven a Dodge Neon with the auto. Actually, no, I didn't. That was before I got my permit. I've driven my Aunt Corsica, not her Neon. But from what my dad says about it, it's basically just a stupid little 4-cylinder auto car. So it's not really like extra fun. Whereas the 5-speed, even if it's in a slow car, you know what I mean? It makes it more fun. So I think it's part of why I love the car so much. Not for much of a car, for its transmission. A little trick here I do. Pop it in the neutral. And if I really want to, I could turn the car off while I'm going. And the brakes on this are pretty good. They're new. Alright. Alright, e-brake on. Take this camera out here for you guys, making this all awkward. I'll probably edit this. Or I won't, because I'm lazy. And I got real world shit to do. I know this is pretty awkward, and sorry if I forgot to edit this. Alright, I'll tell you what I was talking about by the dash here. See what I mean? It's made of this material. It's like a plastic. It sticks perfectly for the suction cup mount. And here, these are the gauges. When you turn your lights on, see what I mean? Like how it's green? It's harder to see, like when it's just getting dusk. And when you turn it off, it's like when it starts to get kind of shaded in there, you want to turn your lights on. See, I just wish they picked a better color for it. And of course, you know, I've got the old stick. I'm thinking about getting like a different shift knob, but for now I just got a pink shift knob cover just to screw with people. I put a teddy bear over the shift knob too. If you can see, it's pretty long. It's a pretty long shifter. Oh, Billy. And it's got a proper handbrake. I like that about it. The button's kind of small from what I'm used to. And like, if you have a passenger, it's awkward because, well, you figure this is your passenger, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna like go low-key finger you. No, just kidding. Grab my handbrake. It's really not in the center because you got your cup holder, and this is like well, I use it to put my phone, this little slot here, because I just run an aux cord from my radio. But yeah, it's my PT Cruiser. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's not really the most entertaining, because I just drove around and talked for a little bit. But there's more to come. I'm thinking about getting a turbo whistle, so that'll be a video. Well, anyway, I don't want to edit too long of a video, so later.